Hello, YouTube. Just to give you an ideal of how difficult it can be, I sometimes have to, I will sometimes click on something and it'll move back like 2 or 3 paces, or it will do things I told it not to do. Um, Very annoying. I don't know if it's a glitch in the internet on this side, some of the sites, if it's a bug I got, but it's been doing that for like a month, probably more than that now, and it's really fucking obnoxious. So add that to everything else that gets in the way of my 15-year one-man therapy session. But with that being said, if anyone cares enough to watch and you want to know what I have to say, I will tell you, and then you will fucking proceed not to know what the hell I'm talking about anyways. um, let's see. On the issue of the debate, first of all, I want to get rid of the trivial, get the trivial out of the way first. Coming off of the fucking thing with secular talk, I don't want to sound. Well, it's not even that. It's just I just don't feel like making a video, to be honest with you. What the fuck is porn is, instead of making it, I want to get this out of the way. Biden, and while Biden for the most part came across as more, I thought, left wing, obviously, and more populist than Trump did, and I actually, and that, by the way, I think should say, well, I'll save it to the end, but I preferred Biden. Let's just say that, and I thought Biden did really good during the debate. I preferred Biden, but with that being said, I remember part of the debate where he said, instead of referencing Proud Boars, he says they're poor boars. Now, look, don't get me wrong. He brought up minimum wage, and he actually did a pretty decent job defending it, and at least pretended to care. And he also said to some extent he wanted some form of healthcare reform, and at least, I guess, to cover pre-existing conditions. So all of that makes him far more populist than Trump, and this is more of a trivial point. But I said on Twitter it was trivial because they only give you so many characters or a certain character limit, and I don't really feel like. And by the way, I'm going to have a little bit of dignity here and humility and not whore my blog anymore. If you want to see my blog, you know what my blog is. If not, then don't. And you probably wouldn't like it anyways, so fuck it. But on Twitter, I said, it's trivial, but it really isn't. But I'm just going to say, he said they're poor boars. Now, here's the thing. You can call them anything. And for the record, had you call them shit boars, that would be a bad thing, right? Because I'm willing to guess you don't like shit. If you had called them fuck boars, that would be a derogatory word. If you had called them stupid boars, well, no one wants to be stupid. So then why would you call them poor boars? So maybe, I don't know, a little fraudulent. I don't know if fraudulent the word, but it's like a fraudulent slip, or it's a slip of the fucking actual opinion going on there. And I'm sorry if no one else cares, but maybe I just think it's important you actually listen to words so that you can kind of get to the bottom of someone's actual fucking opinion, because I think Trump himself proved to us all these motherfuckers are pretty much this basically lying to us, including Biden. And again, going back to secular talk, hey, I like the guy. I would not doubt that even though most of, or 99% of what he has been saying that I have heard so far is totally true, and I think a lot of it's very intelligent and all of that, I would not doubt if he isn't lying about a certain portion of what he says, or if there isn't an ulterior motive or an ulterior agenda or whatever I'm saying, another agenda. And the reason I say that is because I have no faith in my fucking species. So anyway, moving forward. Let's see. But never minding that, on the issue of sticking with Biden on the issue of foreign policy, I disagreed with him incredibly and tremendously on North Korea, and that was the one area of the night where I thought he failed or lost the debate. possibly the only place where I thought he lost a debate was North Korea. And again, let me just make it clear or make it plain. I agreed with and liked Obama's deal or the Obama deal with what was his name? Or the Obama deal with Iran. I'm sorry, where my brain was there. But anyways, again, too much drinking and so forth. But I'm really losing a lot of my cognitive ability. It is what it is. Look, the point is, the deal with Iran. I agreed with Obama, and I thought that was one of the better things about Obama. As I said on Twitter, I thought that was one of the better things, if not the best thing, or whatever I said about his presidency, and I thought he did very good. Um, and that was making that deal with Iran and making a reasonable deal that protected us, and also prevented a war. And that was largely sitting down to a discussion with them, sitting down to a conversation with them, basically for diplomacy, without any pre-existing conditions. Or that's not what I'm saying. It was healthcare. What was it? Basically, without any kind of conditions being set, other than you sat down, we talked, and we tried to come to a deal. And I think it did good. I think it was a better step in the right direction than where we were going. And I agreed with that. And that was something Trump totally fucked up, by the way. But I think that was one of the better things Obama did. That, and of course, in addition to, I think, out of probably other things, but the one thing that comes to my mind was some of the protections for transgender rights, or at least moving forward to support and endorse transgender rights. Another thing that Trump has done horribly on and largely done the opposite of it. But with that being said, I do not agree with Biden that we need to. We do not need to, in any way, sanction any more North Korea. It is a good thing that Trump has been able to get a deal with North Korea. If we can prevent war with North Korea, we need to do that. And I don't want to interfere in that region really more than we have to. Secular Talk, who I just made a video on, but one of the better videos he made today was on the subject of foreign policy, by the way, and he actually said one thing that I do want to say in this video, and that is that the real way you reach North Korea is with most other countries is you do largely what Trump has probably started to do, and largely what we have started to do in Saudi Arabia, and perhaps that is part of the direction we're going in there, and that is you open them up to Western and American culture and the rest. Now, I'm not say as of recently or currently. I'm not sure you would want to do that because, yeah, Justin Bieber and Wendy Williams, that'll really make them democratic. But no, I mean, while they couldn't possibly be any more authoritarian, I'm suppose if there is any way they could possibly do the opposite of what we want them to do more, showing them that would do it. But anyways, I do know American culture is often slow getting to a lot of other countries, like Japan, for example. I think was probably more in the past, but it's kind of slow. Their culture is slow getting here. Pokemon, when it came here, was like a couple of years old or a few years old when it came to America. So in that sense, I will say this. So as far as I go, I will say this. Maybe we'll hit luck and they'll get our culture from about 20 years ago, and they'll love it and they'll change. Who knows? But anyways, that is probably how you would change them, not fucking bombing them or sanctioning them and putting sanctions on a group of people that are already being oppressed by their leader, and then putting further sanctions on their leader that sanctions them and limits food and resources, so that now you have a starving population. As he said, you will now have a starving population in addition to what, as well as one being oppressed. You would have a starving population as well as one being oppressed. But furthermore, moving forward or moving on from that, these people, as I said on Twitter, they want to be left alone. They want to do what they want to do. Just like with Afghanistan, if they want the Taliban to run their country, then let the Taliban run the country. But you're not going to change them this way. We have been doing this ever since really 9/11 at least, but probably a lot longer, a lot way before that. But at least ever since 9/11, we have been doing this. So ever since 9/11, we have been doing this at least, and we have now got 2 wars. We have bombed Syria. We've interfered in Libya. We have more wars, more corpses, more death. We have more migration and more migrants coming from other countries to this country. That if you are concerned with migration, then you need to understand perhaps that the main reason we have this amount of migration is because of our wars, as well as economic sanctions, and not to mention other our corporate, and not to mention, but not only economic sanctions of countries like North Korea, but also our interference in, or our corporate deals with other countries like NAFTA and other things that have been a just a disaster for trade and a disaster for the third world. This creates large amounts of migration. We have wars. There's more disruption. We've disrupted that region. There's more chaos in that region than there ever was. We have wars. It has in we have wars and we have dead people, and it ends up being a problem to them, to the country we're talking about, to the countries in the surrounding area, such as South Korea in that area, and it ends up eventually being a problem to us. So no, I don't support interference in North Korea, and I think Biden is totally wrong about that, and I support Trump on that. But again, Trump is totally wrong about Iran. So, and it's actually very odd because it's proved they're both full of shit and they have no real beliefs, is Secular Talk pointed out about Trump, at least, because while Trump made the deal about Iran, Obama made the deal about Iran, rather, Trump made the deal about North Korea. So then you're okay with making the same deal with one dictatorship that you think to be rogue and might be capable of possessing nuclear weapons without any kind of pre-existing conditions, for lack of a better word to use here, with Iran, but you're not with North Korea. You don't want to make the same deal with North Korea. So basically, you're both full of shit, and you're doing this for one reason or the other. At least with Trump, I know at least part of the reason. Strategically, it might have something to do with Israel too. I don't really know, but as far as I think, mainly the primary main reason would be to just undo the Obama legacy, because he has whatever wrong with him that he just wants to do the opposite of whatever Obama did. That is absurd and has, I don't want to say it's led to them because I don't have much faith in the Democratic Party to begin with, but certainly the Democratic Party has the same view for whatever reason, where they tend to want to go and do or stand on the opposite end of whatever the fuck Trump does. So it's basically this political bullshit. And it's absurd, and that's not how you get anything done or how you run a fucking country moving forward. And finishing this fucking bullshit. First of all, I do want to say that both Biden's best moments were a minimal rage, where he defended it far more strongly. Though I will say, I think Trump was a little less dismissive of that, and a little more, as well as a little bit more vague in what he was talking about. But I think largely, I think Biden won with minimum rage and hit real with that, and also healthcare, and saying it was a right to have pre-existing conditions covered. Now, with that being said, he supports private insurance. Now, if you support private insurance, you would probably support But now, with that being said, he supports private insurance. Now, if you support private insurance, wouldn't you also support universal health care or something like that, Medicare for all, whatever? Again, I digress. I don't know, but he certainly seemed to the left of Trump on that issue. And again, Trump has no actual proof that he can change the system or change the healthcare system, or for that positively for the rest of us, or for that matter, any real fucking answer as to what he would do, or example of what he's talking about, or what he thinks we should do. So that's bullshit. Moving forward beyond that, finally, and ending this on the coronavirus, I don't want to talk much about this. We're about Trump. You know what I think about Trump. I disagree with a lot of his shit. But the one thing he was absolutely ridiculous about, that no one can fucking deny, was opening up the fucking schools, and he's still fucking saying this. First of all, I don't like this because you make kids go to school. And first of all, I'm not a huge fan of school in the first place to begin with anyways. But second of all, you not only did that would be better not only are you doing that, but you're doing it during a disease pandemic where they can get sick and die. And he says, well, it's not the same for kids. His kid had it and he got over it. Well, yeah, you had it too. And like you said yourself, you had medication. And you said they gave you something, and from what I understand, the kind of not vaccine, but the kind of treatment you get is different from the kind of treatment we get, because you're the fucking president. So obviously, I'm willing to guess your son and probably your wife got this too. So that's why you got over it so damn fast. Same thing for you, not because is not dangerous for kids. But even if that was true, and he's basically said in the word work video, although that was early on, but he said knowing that it can be dangerous for kids as well. Kids can get it too, and so forth. So with that being said, even if that was true, that kids got over it easier and it wasn't the death sentence for them, it might be older people and specifically elderly or senior citizens or elderly people. Even if that was true, you know, they still go there, don't they? And first of all, I don't think it's worth a kid getting sick just so they can go to a fucking dump, a fucking government brainwashing center and compare and be bullied and compare trench coats. I just don't. But beyond that, beyond that, and one death I think is too many deaths among our youth for that. But beyond that, they go there and they can catch the virus, can't they? Okay, they leave there. Well, how long before anyone even knows they have the damn disease or the virus? And do they not go to other places? Will they not go to a rest home? Will they not go and visit granny and their grandparents and whoever? Will they not give it to adults that might not be that old but older that might die from it? Can they not spread the disease to people who will not do as well with the disease? So that's just fucking stupid because they spread the disease. They get at the disease, they spread the disease. Duh, as I said on Twitter. So anyways, that's all. And again, I just want to say that my faith in humanity, much like other people before me, Bill Hicks, George Carlin, and others, is greatly degenerating or disintegrating. I have less and less faith in my species. And before long, I'm going to have to be changing my religion from humanist to, I don't know, fucking maybe social Darwinist, nihilist, fatalist, cynical. But yeah, humanist, as far as belief system, it just ain't doing it no more for me anymore. And yeah, P666.